Hey, this is Jason with 4W Knives. I've got a little project, and I mean that literally, a little project. I've got an old leftover piece of Damascus. It's 109 layer, about a 1/4 inch thick, not very wide, not really that long. But I'm going to turn it into a small caping knife. This is going to be my what I go off of. What I need to do is I'll take it in the grinder and I'm going to clean up all the edges to make sure I have good steel. And then I'm going to lengthen it out with the use of the roller mill, make sure it's wide enough, and then I will do a stock removal on the remaining piece. So I just thought it'd be cool to turn something that doesn't have a point to its existence and turn it into something hopefully pretty cool and unique. I decided to use the press here for a little bit to try to widen it out a little bit. It seemed to help. It was just barely wide enough when I was finished to accomplish the size that I was hoping for. Okay, here it is after forging. I've got it down to about 0.12 on thickness and just a little bit longer and wider than what I need for the whole thing. I am now just going to draw the pattern on it. And I'm sorry my hands are probably blocking your view, but I've got the pattern drawn on, and then I'm going to take it to the grinder and grind out the knife. Okay, this is after the shaping on the grinder, also known as stock removal, and did a little bit of a surface grind, just using a flat platen to try to get all the imperfections out. I went ahead and marked my holes for my pins, but it is way too hard to drill. My drill's not even cracking it, so I'm gonna go heat it up and let it cool down slowly and anneal it, and then I'll be back for that. Make it a little bit softer is my goal. So once I get it and I'm able to drill, I'll show you. After heating it up to a light red color, letting it cool slowly, I've got it annealed and able to get it drilled. After drilling the holes, I'll start my heat treating cycles. I will first do 3 thermal cycles where I'll heat it up to critical temp, hang it, and let it cool down slowly. Prior to the quench, I will heat up the oil by heating up a railroad spike and putting it in it. I'll try to get the oil between 120 and 140 degrees. I've had good luck with that with my Damascus. After the quench, I will put it in a toaster oven for two-hour cycles at 400 degrees. After heat treating, I will start my finish grinding. Normally, I've already done the rough grind on the bevels prior to heat treat, but this knife was thin and so small, I waited to do my bevels. But I will start with an 80 grit, then I'll make my way to 120, then I will do a Trizac 220, and then a Trizac 400, and end with a Trizac 800. I'll do all of that prior to me etching it and putting my logo on it. Okay, so I've kind of forgot to record, so I'm picking up right here. I have etched it in the ferric chloride to bring out the Damascus pattern, and I have already glued together the handle, three-piece G10 with some white liners. I've already glued that, so now you've got me at just the handle fit up part. So I'll show some of this as I'm going, many different ways to do it. I'm hoping that this all comes together and looks pretty good. So I'll try to remember to turn the camera on from now on. My apologies. Prior to the glue up, I like to what I call a rough grind to get the handle scales as close to the shape of the knife handle as possible. I leave a little bit, but not a whole lot, just in case if I make a mistake somewhere. But I'll use the small wheel attachment to get down into the tight spots, and I'll use the flat platen for the rest. Glue up's pretty simple. Clean everything with acetone, make sure you don't have any high spots. I'll use the file just to kind of make sure I get any burrs off of it. The epoxy that I have is a 2-part epoxy that I get from Jantz. I think it's a 2-ton epoxy. I'll make sure I get good coverage, and then clamp it down. You see me there, I'm just scratching the liner. They're pretty smooth surface. If it gets too smooth, the glue doesn't stick very good. And then I'll clamp it with these handy little clamps that I picked up from Harbor Freight. They work really well. They don't overpress, but they hold it snug enough. Well, once the hand sanding's done, I'll buff it on the buffer and get you this finished product. I thought it turned out really good. I like that orange and black. Gives it a pretty good look. I'm thinking that he'll really like it. So I'm considering doing an additional build with this one. Kind of like have a little piggyback thing. If I do, I'll post. I appreciate you watching, and as I always say, I'll keep trying to get better at the knife making and the video making.